Hey guys, this is Jenna with Hill Valley Farm, and we have another exciting birth to tell you about. So here is Freedom. So excuse our mess and our noise. It is milk test day. Now Freedom is not on milk test today just because she's too fresh, and she has brand new babies, and they are so beautiful. So here are Freedom's triplets, and she did so incredibly well. She kidded on March 24th, and she had a doe and two bucklings. The doe is the one right there with the big moon spot on her hip, and this is a buckling with, and you can't really see it in here because it's so dark, but he's black and white, but he has two dark brown moon spots. Well, I know of at least two on his black part there. And then this little hopping guy is a buckling as well, and he is so flashy and beautiful. Now, because Freedom is a first freshener, we will be weathering the bucklings, and of course we have already contacted our reservation list, and the doeling is sold. So the bucklings, however, are available as wethers, which are castrated males, if you don't know, and they would be excellent pets. And so they are, as you can see, they're all about the same size. They're a little over, when they were born, a little over 2 pounds. Obviously, we are watching their weights because there are triplets. 2 of them are bucks, and Freedom, again, is a first freshener. She's doing really great on the stand. I mean, pure first freshener fashion. I mean, she's not like standing still perfectly, but she does pretty well. She does better than some that I've had. So, Freedom, hi. You're chowing down, aren't you? So, that is sweet Freedom's. 2 bucklings and a doeling over there. Again, excuse our mess. It is a very loud milk test day, and we are so excited about the first milk test with a couple of our first fresheners. So, yay! So at the beginning of the year, we started making a list of what lines we're working with, who we're working with, and who we want to move forward with in the coming year and over a couple years. And so we have actually reached out to someone on our reservation list who made it very clear that they were interested in not only doelings but also mature adults. This is the perk of being on the reservation list, because when you're on it, I will come to you and I will say, this is who I'm considering letting go this year. And I did that. The first one that we decided on was Freedom. Not really any fault of her own at all. She's an excellent doe. She is done. We're going to give her some chafe. She is an excellent doe. There's nothing wrong with her at all. She's beautiful. You look at her, and there's nothing at all wrong with her udder that I see, or her teats. It's not possible for Caden and I to work with all of the lines that we have right now when we continue to bring other lines in. And we did. We brought some new lines in last year. We brought Vista Oaks, That's What She Said, into the herd. We not only did that, but we brought 2 other bucks into the herd. Blessings at HT Legends Are Made, and Primrose Hill M. Archimedes. We also retained a buckling, Hill Valley Flying Scotsman. So then the big one was not Hill Valley, Cade's Little Farm, Essie Faylene, permanent grand champion. She came into the herd as a foundation doe for Caden. We finished Vista Oaks Risky Business, 1-star M. And so it's just, there are particular lines we are working with. And obviously Caden is going to be working really hard with Faylene and Sheila. He will also be working with his first freshener, Butterfly. She did excellent on milk test today. This is a doe that I wasn't too sure about, just because of the history with her mother and how I don't know, she wanted to kick my head off every time I milked her. And so if I'd have kept her, I'd have probably lost my head. And so I was a little worried about Butterfly, but she's doing really good. And so I know that that's something he wants to work with. Myself, I'm wanting to work with Lila some more. I'm wanting to work with Scott and Isabella, Gloria. Obviously, I'm still working with Irma. And there's others in the herd that I know I'm not even mentioning, but the other part of that is our retained does. You know, the does that we retained last year, we retained 4. That was not our plan, but we did it. We wanted to really only retain 2, but we retained 4, and we need to work with those. And now, obviously, because of the lines that we have now, this is a very heavy retaining year for us, and it's kind of hard because we're having a very heavy buck year. Out of the 22 kids that we have on the ground right now, 14 of those are bucklings, and all 4 of our first fresheners have freshened, and Alice had triplet bucklings. I need to look at my board here. Alice had triplet bucklings. Butter had 1 buckling. You know, Freedom had 2 bucklings. Fortunately, Ellie only had does. And so when you look at those numbers and you see what you want to retain, you actually are only at this point, this is us, hoping that we get to retain the ones that we really do want to retain from this year, just because of our high buckling numbers. So that being said, when you start retaining more, you have to cut from the top, and you're cutting from your older does. And when I say older, that can be a first freshener like Freedom. That can also be someone that you have actually had for almost a couple years now. And so Caden, you know, we look at what we get, and we got 2 daughters off of her, and we feel like it was time to move her on. And so Caden has also decided to let go of this Cedar View Tuscany. That was actually not an easy decision because of where she comes from, and from, you know, Cedar View, but also we bought her from Lacey. That wasn't easy, but it makes it a little bit easier knowing where she's going. And obviously, you know, we have an agreement. You know, when we buy a doe from a breeder, we always offer that doe back to the breeder that we got them from. And so obviously Cedar View is Tuscany's breeder, but we got her from Lacey. So we did offer her back to Lacey, but Lacey is still trying to cut numbers. And so sadly she can't take Tuscany, but it gives the opportunity to these people that also bought Freedom and her daughter. And so it makes it happy in a way, just to know that even though we're not working with her and she's not here, we know that she's going to an excellent home. And we also know that they can, you know, get some amazing daughters from her as well. And so it's kind of like, you know, you spread the love. And so that's my thought. You know, a lot of people will ask me, how can you let them go? How can you? Well, they're a lot of work. And the more you have, the more work. And it's Caden and I, you know, and Craig helps out and Gavin helps out. But for the most part, when it's time to go to the show, when it's time to get ready for a show, it's Caden and me. That's it. And so when it's just us, you got to watch your numbers. You got to be careful. And so, you know, and 2, we have 4 dry yearlings this year. It's Dicey, Moon, Mirabella, and Maddie. Unless I try to get 2 other handlers, I can't take all 4 of those goats to the shows. And so we have to pick and choose who we take. And that makes it interesting. You know, I am really, really picky on who handles my goats. I've learned to be picky at shows. Not everyone handles the goats in the way that we do. You would be surprised. And so we just, you know, I mean, I had someone handle Alice last year that they weren't very easy with her. And the next couple shows, I was actually working with her, trying to set her up and her be okay with me setting her up. And that's not good. And so, because before she was fine being set up, there was no problems. And so, you know, you got to just be picky, and we are. So anyways, so those two does, Freedom and Tuscany, will be leaving us. Probably the end of May is what we said on our contract. Freedom's bucklings need to be weaned, and her doeling will be going with her, so that's very good. So Tuscany's buckling is sold, and we are retaining Callie, which is her daughter, this year. And so we've got Mirabella and Callie out of Tuscany, and she's helped, you know, in the way of our front ends, and that's actually why I got her. So anyway, so that's that on some shuffling around. There will be more shuffling around. That's my plan, is to shuffle some more. Just because that's what you have to do when you get to a certain point, and that's where we are this year. So I wanted to kind of keep you guys in the loop and let you know what's going on here on our end. But so the who is next to Kid? Well, let's go take a look. All right, so this is Cade's little farm, S.E. Faline, 1-star M. She is due. She is next. She is, as they say in baseball, on deck. And as you can see, Miss Faline is a little large. She's like a little pancake when she lays down. And she has a new nickname here, and we call her Mama Faline. And that is because all the kids love Faline. They love to jump on her and stand on her and rub on her and play around her. And she lets them, and she is such a dream. And thank you, Moon. Moon says hi. She's such a dream, and she is so sweet. And so we love our sweet little Faline. Faline is due April 22nd. It's a Saturday. Hi, Dicey. And Caden is pretty much over the moon, excited, nervous. I mean, you can imagine. We've had some tough spots in this kidding season, and so he is highly, highly excited about her, but, you know, also nervous and just praying all goes well. And we're also very hopeful for some doelings out of her. Now, we have let Freedom out for the day, and this is, I know you guys have seen this before, this is what they do. Freedom is working back her spot into the pecking order of the herd. Every herd has a pecking order, and she has been gone since last Friday, and so it's not been quite a week, but they have to work out some differences. And I mean, right there she was headbutting with Ellie. Ellie is her age. Alice was born the same day Freedom was. So I mean, these girls, there is a definitive pecking order, and she's making sure she gets back into her spot. Okay, so besides Faline, who else is due? We have, let me look out here. Hi, Gloria. We also call her Sheila, Vista Oaks, that's what she said. And she's getting pretty wide. We love Sheila. She is beautiful. She's shiny. Her coat is in such good condition. She's a really nice weight. She is so sweet. Caden is exceptionally excited about her and excited to get her into the show ring. She is not due until the end of May. We bred some girls mainly to look forward to the fair shows in the fall, and she's one of those girls. And so Sheila is due at the end of May. And let's see who else. Here's Lily. Lily is actually taking a break this year, and she's Caden's showmanship doe. So he is really going to miss her in the ring this year. But we also have Mercy. Mercy is due also at the end of May. And Mercy is one that has amazing volume. She's got teats for days, as I say. She's wonderful. Easy to hand milk, easy to machine milk. she's really just a dream. She behaves well. She's actually not very nice when she is pregnant, and so that's the business right there that you see going on with with her. But she's always really nice with us. She's polled, moon spotted, and blue-eyed, and so she is due at the end of May. We also have sweet Lila. Lila is this lady's daughter, Irma's daughter, Lila, and very excited about Lila. I always am, every single year. She's actually one of my personal favorites. I love the width of her udder. I love everything about her udder and her. She is due May 25th. And this girl, when she is due, you got to stick around because her ligaments will drop and she can have kids in an hour. She's really, really fast, and so she's kind of tricky. You got to really watch her, and she's sneaky, but we love our Lila Grace. Another one is Lila's daughter right here, Sky. She is due mid-June. She's the last one due of 2023 right now, unless we decide to breed for August. And she short-cycled a few times on us, but we got her bred. Sky is a highly anticipated doe this year. She'll be a 2F. Her reservation list, as is Lila's, is full. And we are hoping to retain a daughter out of her and Lila. And so we are very hopeful about that. Sky, like I said, is due mid-June. The other one due in June is Miss Isabella, all the way to the left right there, the golden, the one that just looked at us. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Isabella. Isabella is actually just up there with Sky and Lila, one of my favorites personally. So she's one I'm working with. She had a beautiful udder as a first freshener. She did very well in the ring, as did Sky. They placed first in their class several times at several different shows, several different judges. So very excited about Isabella this year. Last year she gave us triplet bucklings on April Fool's Day. Craig thought that we were April Fooling him. We don't kid around about that. So I'm hoping that she has some does, depending on how Scott and Lila do. If they don't have me any does, then I might end up retaining off of Isabella. So that's a little update on what's going on and who is due. We have 6 does due. It seems like we just started kidding sometimes, and other times it seems like it's been going a while. So I have some mixed feelings about that. So definitely stay tuned, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also give us a thumbs up. That actually helps us a lot more than you know. So thank you so much for watching, and until we see you again, I hope you guys have an awesome goat field day.